Hi, this is John of Trish and John's Gardening Channel. Today is April 12th, 2015. We wanted to give you a quick update on where we are with our heirloom tomatoes. We planted these seeds on April 1st, so it's just about 11-12 days after we planted the seeds. And again, we wanted to give you a quick update, let you know where we are, and a couple things that we do at this stage to kind of move the plants along and get them ready for the next phase here. Okay? So if we go through here, number one, we've got the pink brandywine. Most of these seeds that you see here are from Baker Creek. We've had a lot of good luck with these seeds. So here you can see the PB, their pink brandywine. We've had really good success with propagation. I think all of them came up. I put 3 seeds per net pot. So really happy with those. Although, as you'll see today, we're going to be thinning those down to 1 per pot. So the next tomato up would be the tomato carbon. This is a new tomato for us. We haven't done this one before, but it's got good reviews. So we're going to try this one and see how it goes this year. This one we've had about 50% or so propagation. You can see the one in the back there. We've actually still waiting. We may not get lucky. I'll be happy if I get 2 of these plants. So again, we're going to be thinning these out to 2 today, 1 per pot. I'm okay with that. We only planned on putting 2 of these in the ground anyways this year. We're limited with space in the garden, so since it's new, we're going to try 2 plants. The third up would be our Cherokee Purple. Again, a lot of good reviews on this one. So again, just like the pink brandywine, we've had really good propagation. All of them came up, looks like. Actually a couple more there. So fourth up would be our Paul Robeson. Again, this is a new one for us. We have not done this one, but again, we're going to be putting at least 2 in the ground, and the propagation in this was 100%. So we're happy with that. Next up would be the Amana Orange. I always like to have at least 1 orange tomato in the ground. Last year we went with a different kind of orange. Maybe it'll come to me, but this year we figured we'd go with the Amana Orange. Again, we've had about very similar to the tomato carbon. Again, way in the back there you can see we had no seeds come up there, still waiting, but again, we only planned on putting 2 of these in the ground, so we'll have at least 2 plants here. Okay, so next up, we actually weren't planning on putting any San Marzanos in the ground this year, but we did get, you can see that seed pack. We're able to get these seed packs from a local nursery. These are straight from Italy, and we figured, why not? Let's go ahead and put some of those in the ground. We're going to put all 3, I think. We are looking to maybe can these tomatoes. Propagation rate very, very good. I think 1 or 2 didn't come up, but they look really good. So okay, so the last 2 heirlooms are, I'll say, our favorites. We've had really good luck with these over the last couple of years. First up would be the Sun Gold. This is a small yellow cherry tomato, almost like the size of a grape, maybe a little bit bigger, but it's like eating candy. These are excellent tomatoes. I would highly suggest that you try at least 1 or 2 plants. These will grow all year long for you, and again, you'll just get bowls and bowls of these. If you look at our YouTube website or Google Plus, you'll see the background is the yellow tomatoes. That's exactly what these are. So those bowls of tomatoes, our gardening were the Sun Gold type tomatoes. So hopefully we can repeat that this year. That's why we've got 4, and again, the propagation rate was quite good here. And last up, but certainly not least, is our Black Krim. This is probably my favorite out of all the tomatoes that we're going to grow this year, at least for right now, unless one of the other tomatoes takes over his lead. But these are fantastic. Really good propagation rate on these. Happy with that. And again, probably going to put all 4 of these in the ground, get as many of these as we possibly can. So that's the overview. And the next step, we just wanted to take you through, what we do at this stage to kind of, again, move these along. You can see here, they're just now starting to get their first true leaves. If you can see that, we're ready to take them to the next step. So let me cut the film, and we will give you a close-up of exactly what we do to take these to the next step. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be doing today is thinning our tomato plants. We're going to be thinning all of the heirloom tomatoes that we showed you just previously. And we're going to thin them down to 1 plant per pot. We're going to use our black trim as an example of that. You can see here we've already trimmed down to 1 plant on these 2. And what we do is, we use this other one as an example here. So you take a look at the plants and you kind of look at the most healthiest plant. You want the one that just looks the best, right? And sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes they look very similar in size and quality. So I look at this one in the back has a leaf that's a little bit curled in. Not bad, still a good viable plant, but as a in comparison to the other 2, I think that was the worst of the 3. Again, it's a judgment call. Now, out of these 2, I would probably go ahead and snip back this guy only because he's a little younger than this other one, a little bit less developed. Now, in these other 3, what I'm looking for, this one in the front, probably be hard to see on film, but this one here is not growing straight. It's a little bit of a crooked base to it, so I'll take that one out. And then if I look at the difference between these 2, again, the one on the left is a little bit further ahead than the one on the right, so I'll go ahead and take out the one on the right. So that's the process of thinning it. Again, I'll do that to all the heirlooms that you saw today, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show you what we do on the black crims. So that's the first step. The next step here, go ahead and backfill these pots. Now, if you remember on some of my other videos using these net pots, or even if you're not using these net pots, when I grow tomatoes, I always grow them with the least amount of dirt possible to get them started. I want them just to get some roots started, and the goal here is to bury the tomato plants as they grow. I want to bury the base stem every time I up pot, or during the life of the plant in the early stages. I continue to bury my tomatoes. That's going to give them a much stronger root system, and the tomatoes can tolerate it. Matter of fact, I think they even more than tolerate it, I think they prefer that method. They grow much better, in my opinion, at least in the few years that I've been using this type of method. I've had really good success with having very strong tomato plants with excellent root systems, and prolific growers, and really good producibility, and a lot of tomatoes on these plants. So I go ahead, I do that to all of these. As you can see, I just use a spoon and backfill. You can use whatever you want. As far as you can use your hands, your fingers, whatever. I prefer the spoon method. And we're using just the standard potting soil here. I'm using a Happy Frog. If you see some of the earlier videos, actually on my peppers, you'll see that we use that type of potting soil. You can use really anything you want. I just happen to be using that particular kind because it was available at my local hydroponics store. So again, nothing fancy. You just fill them up. You can really fill them up to the base of the leaves here. You don't have to worry about that. And as these grow now, these pots are nearly full. I'll continue to add dirt over the next few days, maybe a week, until these are completely full. And then in probably around 2 weeks, I'm going to be up potting these from the 3-inch net pots that you see here to 5-inch net pots. So, okay, so we've got them filled basically. Again, I'll go back as the days go, if need be, as the dirt settles, and continue to backfill and add more dirt to these pots until they're completely full. So that's it for trimming, pruning, and getting down to filling up the pots with soil. And then the next thing I do here, if you can see that, is bottom water the plants. I just using a bowl here just for an example to this video, but I typically use like a sheet pan or something like that. Actually, I use Trish's baking pan, and I fill it with about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 inches of water, and I just let the plants sit in the water, probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending, and let them take up the water from the bottom. I don't like watering from the top too much, especially water. I do spray, however. I use a spray bottle. I picked this up in my local nursery. I do spray my tomatoes Usually every evening I'll come in here and spray from the top just to dampen down the tomatoes. You don't want to do this too often, and you don't want to leave your tomatoes damp all the time. But once a day I find it's beneficial to go ahead and just wet them down from the top, get the leaves wet and let them take in a little bit of moisture from the leaves. And it seems beneficial, but you want to let these dry out in between. Once you do this bottom watering, I probably won't water this plant again at least until tomorrow or the next day. One thing about these net pots, you got to be a little bit careful because of all the openings in the side of the pot. Hopefully you can see that there. All of those openings do allow the pots to dry out much quicker than if these were in solo cups or Dixie cups, what have you. So you got to water these a little bit more often, I'm finding. Not a big deal. I like the fact that they dry out quicker, and you just have to keep after it. If you wait 2 or 3 days, you're probably going to have bad results, probably some dead plants. So you want to keep your eye on it. But that's true of all of growing plants in general, right? Especially at this stage, you really can't turn away for more than 2 or 3 days. You want to keep your eye on it, make sure that the dryness of the soil or the quality of the plants or any bugs or et cetera, et cetera. So you want to just always be looking at these plants every day, really. I take a look at mine and see how it's going. So, okay, that's just about it for today. As you can see here, we've thinned our tomato plants down to 1 plant per pot, and we've gone ahead and backfilled the dirt around each of the plants, just about filling the pot with soil as much as we could, around the base of the plant. That's going to help with creating root offshoots from the main stem, and ultimately gives you a much stronger plant. So that's it for today. We just wanted to again give you a quick update. We're going to be updating you in probably in about 1 to 2 weeks, let you know what the next step is. We're going to probably be uppotting these into 5-inch net pots and take it throughout the entire season. We're going to show you these plants probably every 2 weeks, every 3 or 4 weeks in the summer, and let you know how we've made out. So that's about it for today. Again, I want to thank you for watching the video. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube, share them with your friends, and if you can, please subscribe to our channel. That would be fantastic. So that's it for today. Have a really good day, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Cheers.